Alfred Adler's striving for superiority. Alfred Adler, one of the most influential figures in psychology, believed that at the core of human life there is a driving force that shapes who we are and what we do. He called this drive the striving for superiority. At first glance, the word superiority might sound like arrogance, selfishness, or wanting to dominate others, but Adler did not mean it in that way. What he really meant was that every person, deep down, feels a sense of incompleteness or weakness, and from this feeling grows a desire to become better, stronger, more capable, and more connected to others. Striving for superiority, in Adler's view, was not about crushing other people or proving you are the best, but about striving to improve yourself and overcome challenges. Adler noticed that human beings start life in a very helpless state. As infants, we cannot walk, talk, or take care of ourselves. From the very beginning, we are aware of being small, weak, and dependent. This feeling of being less capable compared to the world around us is what he called feelings of inferiority. But instead of viewing those feelings as something bad, Adler saw them as the foundation of human motivation. They create the push that makes us want to learn, grow, and eventually stand on our own. For example, a baby who struggles to walk does not give up. Instead, those repeated falls create determination, and eventually the child learns to walk. That is a small but powerful example of striving for superiority. In simple terms, striving for superiority means the desire to rise above where you are now. It is the inner push to move from a state of weakness toward a state of strength, from not knowing toward knowing, from depending on others toward contributing to others. According to Adler, all people share this drive, though it may show up in different forms. Some people express it by excelling in their jobs, some through creative talents, others through building strong families or communities. The important point is that this striving is always present, whether we are aware of it or not. Adler made it clear, however, that there are two different directions this striving can take. When it is healthy, it leads to growth, cooperation, and the betterment of both the individual and the community. For example, someone who feels inferior because they struggle in school may strive for superiority by studying hard, developing discipline, and eventually succeeding. Their improvement not only helps themselves but may also inspire others around them. Similarly, a person who feels physically weak may strive for superiority by exercising, improving their health, and becoming stronger, which benefits both them and those who depend on them. But striving for superiority can also become unhealthy if it turns into the desire to dominate others or to prove oneself at any cost. Adler saw this when people develop what is called a superiority complex. This happens when someone tries to cover up deep feelings of inferiority by acting better than others, by being arrogant, or by seeking power only for themselves. In these cases, the striving for superiority has lost its healthy direction and becomes destructive, because instead of growing and contributing, the person is stuck in constant competition and insecurity. One of Adler's most valuable insights was that striving for superiority is not only about personal growth but also about social interest. He believed that true superiority is not measured by how high you climb above others but by how much you contribute to the well-being of others. A teacher who feels challenged by her students' struggles may strive for superiority by becoming a more patient and effective educator. A doctor who remembers his own childhood illness may strive for superiority by dedicating himself to healing others. In each case, the person's striving does not isolate them but connects them to a larger purpose. To see how this works in real life, think about someone who grew up poor and often felt inferior compared to wealthier people. That person might respond in two ways. One response would be to work hard, build a career, and eventually use their success to support their family and community. This is healthy striving for superiority, where the drive to overcome early disadvantages leads to growth and contribution. The other response, however, might be to obsess over money, look down on others once wealth is gained, and constantly compare themselves to richer people. This would be an unhealthy striving, where the person remains trapped in insecurity and competition. Adler also explained that striving for superiority is a lifelong process. It does not stop once we achieve a goal, because each new achievement opens the door to another challenge. A student who strives to graduate feels proud when they do, but soon they look toward building a career. An athlete who wins a competition feels successful but soon sets their sights on an even higher level. Life, in Adler's view, is a continuous journey of striving, always pushing us to overcome limitations and become more than we were before. What makes Adler's idea different from other theories is that he saw this striving as universal. It is not limited to certain cultures, ages, or social classes. Every child, adult, or elder carries within them the desire to move forward. Even when people appear stuck or hopeless, Adler believed the striving for superiority is still present, though it may be misdirected or blocked by discouragement. Therapists who follow Adler's ideas often try to help people recognize their hidden striving and guide it in a healthier direction. For example, if a teenager feels inferior because of social rejection, they might cope by acting rebellious or pretending not to care. But deep down, their striving for superiority is still alive. If encouraged, they could redirect it toward developing friendships, pursuing talents, or finding ways to contribute to their community. In this way, the energy of striving does not disappear, it just needs to be given a positive direction. In the modern world, Adler's theory is especially important because many people face constant comparisons through social media, careers, or lifestyles. The feelings of inferiority are almost unavoidable, but what matters is how they are handled. Instead of sinking into jealousy or self-doubt, people can use these feelings as motivation to improve themselves while remembering that true superiority comes from growth and contribution, not from putting others down. In summary, Alfred Adler's theory of striving for superiority shows us that the deep desire to overcome weakness and become better is the central force in human life. It begins with the feelings of inferiority we all experience as children and continues as a lifelong process of growth. This striving can take a healthy form, where we develop, achieve, and contribute to others, or it can take an unhealthy form, where we hide our insecurities by seeking to dominate or appear superior. Adler's wisdom lies in reminding us that real superiority is not about being above others but about becoming the best version of ourselves while supporting the community we live in. If you found this explanation helpful and want to continue learning about psychology and sociology in simple terms, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us keep bringing more knowledge to you in an easy and engaging way.